This is Joe, the host of He Said, She Said. And I want you to stop, look, and listen. Stop, look, and listen. You hear that? That's you listening. That's you paying attention to what's being said. A lot of times when we get into arguments or disagreements or even conversation in general, are we really stopping, looking, and listening? Are we stopping when the other person is talking? Or are we continually talking and not listening? You can't talk and listen at the same time. And there's going to come a time where you're going to have to stop, look, observe the person's nonverbal communication because that is a part of the communication process. And then listen, like really listen. Listen to understand, not listen to respond. How many times have we had someone repeat something because we really weren't paying attention? We were doing one of these numbers. Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about pizza? They're like, no, I was talking about the fact that you missed our date the other night. And you're like, oh, okay. Wait, what are we talking about again? Our minds are constantly trying to get information out that we can't allow for it to go in because we are not understanding the communication process. And it's very simple. Stop. When someone is talking, just stop. Just chill. It's not a race to see who can answer first or who can overtalk the other person, who can win the argument. There's no winners when people argue in a negative way. There's an art to disagreement. There's an art to being able to have dialogue. Healthy dialogue is so important. It's so underrated nowadays because our dialogue is it's so much so that we are just continually just trying to just bark at each other instead of really listen to what we're saying. So the next time you get into a situation like that where you're having to, if you disagree with somebody or they just want to tell you about their day, listen to the entire thing. Let them get their complete thought out. Sometimes we are so quick to, especially us as men, sometimes we are quick to shoot a solution out. Hear the lady out. Ladies, we understand that you have a lot of detail and you want to get it out. But sometimes if you can just take a gulp, just break it up a little bit, feed it to us very slowly. Us as men, we process things very it's systematic. It's a systematic approach because we're logical thinkers, right? So if you're giving us a big story with a whole lot of detail, if I don't have a pen to write with, I might lose it. I might lose it. It has to, unless it really grabs our attention. If it's a story that, you know what, I can relate to that because I went through that, I don't have to write it down. But if it's something to where I never heard of that, I'm gonna have to ask some questions. And even so, and that's also again looking. If you're telling if you're telling a story or if you're telling about your experience and you notice that the other person may have a question, they may just look like, they may give you one of these non-verbals, but if you're so focused on continually telling your story, they get further and further confused because they had no opportunity to ask the questions. So it works on both sides of it. We have to come to a place where we can look, listen, but first and foremost, we have to stop. We have to stop what we're doing. We have to stop getting offended and letting that offense or letting that emotion get the best of us because our emotion masks, it deafens the ability for us to effectively communicate. And I know it's difficult to do, especially when someone really offends you. You may need to take a moment. It's okay to take a moment. We're not timed on our responses. We're not timed on how quickly, we don't have to respond so quickly. It's effectively, not a speed test. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So at this level, you have to stop, look, and listen. Use this half as much as you use this. And I guarantee you, if you stop, look, and listen, you'll get a whole holistic perspective on the communication process. But if you're just going and you're trying to get off what you want to get off, I want to just say this. Hold on, I have to wait. I hear what you're saying, but no. Let me tell you how I feel. You notice when you take I out, there's no we and I. So remember, if you want to be heard out, the other person does too. Two people can't talk at the same time and listen at the same time. So if someone is talking, let them talk. They'll probably answer a question that you may have if you let them talk. Just listen. A good listener is starting to become obsolete. Let's bring it back. We have the ability to make a difference, but will we make the difference? I challenge all of you to be a difference maker and effectively communicating. But first, stop, look, and listen.